myth, the legend. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good. How about you?
Awesome. You came in, you dominated my 90-day fasting program. This isn't a sales pitch for that, but let's just, in La La Land, somebody out there has tried keto, counting calories, walking, jogging, everything, and they haven't been able to lose weight the way they wanted to. They come up to you, they've seen you've been tremendously successful, and they say, Matt, you got to tell me, what's the fastest way, easiest way to lose weight? What would you tell them?
Obviously, I'm talking to you, so I would tell him to talk to Joel. But it's all about you just don't eat food. I mean, it's so simple. It's the stupidest thing. And I thought at first, like when I first did the call with it was Landry or one of the guys, I can't remember his name now. It's been a while, but I remember thinking to myself like, wait, so you're just telling me that all I've got to do is basically just go without food and stop eating? And it wasn't, you didn't have to be like intentional or like lose sleep over it. It was like, okay, I can do that. Like I've done hard things in my life. This seems like something pretty simple. And then as soon as I started into it and saw some of the other guys' results and testimonials, I was like, all right, I'm going to actually give this a go, not just like sounds like a good idea and then not do anything about it. I read a lot of books that help with motivation and just kind of mindset stuff. And so it really was a good timing in my life for it too, because I had been reading a lot of that stuff and changing the way I thought about every area of life. So when this came on, it was like, all right, it's time to step it up. I'd done it in my career and I'd done it in my family, my marriage, my relationship. Spiritually, I'd stepped it up. And one of my favorite books is, my Uncle G 10X. And I really tried to find ways to 10X everything. So I thought this was a great way to 10X my, fitness and health goals and overall health. Plus, it was fairly new into the pandemic. And so I thought, man, all this focus on drugs and all the focus is on all the wrong things, in my opinion. And so I thought, man, what a great opportunity for me to really dig into something that's maybe unconventional, but made a lot of sense, right? Just common sense. And so I jumped in with both feet. So to answer your question is a long answer, but man, you gotta do something different and different that works. And this works.
So when you say not eat, what do you mean? 3 hours, 10 hours?
No. So I'm a religious person too. So I had been doing fasting on occasion for religious purposes, but I also always felt better when I did it physically. And so no, not 3 hours. This is at a minimum 24 hours. A lot of people do like intermittent. My wife was doing that for a while. She'd do like the 16-8, and 20 and 4, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I think it's awesome. Anytime you're going, without food and you can prove it to yourself physically, mentally, like I can do without, even it's great. But when you can do a prolonged fast and really get the benefits that I had no clue, right? You plow through that 48 hour and everything, like the windows open up. And then if you can push through to a 72, even more windows open up health wise, it's freaking awesome. And so it sucks. Don't get me wrong. Like it sucks going without food. We're so accustomed to it. I come from a big family. Every time we get together, every time you're with your neighbors, every time you go to a church function, a work function, a happy hour, everything is, in our society is like, let's eat. We're just constantly eating. And most of the time it's the wrong stuff. When you talk about, just forget about fasting, when you just talk about healthy eating, people think you're kind of weird when you're eating like clean, So society has just got it completely backwards. So no, not short-term fast. It's like, really push yourself. I think at a minimum, we talk about 1 meal a day, OMADs, you just bust it out, you eat dinner and then hit the pause button and drink a bunch of water and get through till next dinner. And but really when I saw results is when I was doing rolling 48. So I was just every 48 hours I was eating, and holy hell, like the weight just fell off so quickly. Yeah, so I would focus on a minimum of like, let's just do a 24 and get used to it and kind of build up some confidence. If I was giving people some advice, like, hey, just do a few 24s, like just build up a little confidence and understand that you can do this. You can go without breakfast and lunch on a consistent basis. And once you feel comfortable with that and you start seeing and feeling benefits, bust out a 36 and then go for a 48 and just watch it happen. You can do it for yourself. You don't have to take somebody's word for it. You just go for it.
So what should someone be eating if they're eating every 24 hours, 1 meal a day? And when should they eat it?
It was best for me at dinner just because, you're so busy during the day. So I'll just hit on that. Like I'd like to be productive and efficient with my time because I've got 4 kids. I've been married, 18 years. Like there is plenty of stuff that pulls my attention away. I've got a busy job that could always keep me busy. I could always work more. So skipping breakfast and lunch, it makes sense for every other reason, right? That's 2, maybe 3 hours of every day that I can now spend on more important things, right? And plus I feel better. It's always made sense for me at night. Like we like to have dinner together as a family as much as we can, like my boys are getting older, so they're in sports and different things and church activities and hanging out with friends. So we try to do our best, and that time with family is perfect. I want to preserve that. And so, if they're eating, I want to eat with them. So it's always been nighttime for me. It's easy to skip breakfast and lunch, or easier, more convenient just for lifestyle.
Now, you said you were doing rolling 48, so meaning eating dinner every other day during your program. That was a while ago. You've obviously kept the weight off. You look lean, mean, shredded machine. Are you still doing rolling 48s, or have you been able to taper it back quite a bit just to maintain?
Yeah, so I throw it in probably once every couple of weeks now, just where I'm feeling like a little sluggish, or I had a little heavy on the weekend and the sweets got my attention and I just feel like junk. And like Sundays, after church we'll have somebody over, hang out with family, watch football, and there's always a bunch of sugar around and stuff. So you get into that, and then so that's what I found best is like I'll skip Monday once a week, maybe every couple weeks. But I felt really comfortable like doing 1 meal a day just about every day. If my wife and I want to go grab lunch, or if I've got a client lunch or even a client breakfast, which happens once in a while, you deal with it, and then you don't let it affect your life or take control of your life. That's one nice thing about it is I can have a breakfast with a client or lunch with a client, and then like, all right, so I'll just work late, like tell my wife, hey, I'm not gonna be home for dinner tonight. It's great. She keeps going and does her thing, and then I'll eat dinner the next night, right? So you just kind of tailor it to what's going on in your life and tie it down to this machine or program.
If someone's doing rolling 48s, they want to get aggressive, lose fat quickly. How many calories should they eat during their meals?
Blow it up, man. Like, especially if it's good food. Like, I remember loving coming off of 48 or 72. We'd put something on the smoker. Like we do like beer can chicken or whole chickens, or we do like, a brisket, and that thing would last. I'd get after it.
Yeah, it was a trick question. I shouldn't be counting calories ever again. But yeah. You touched on a point, man.
10,000. I'll give you a number, 10,000.
Yeah, 10,000. Like
whatever you want.
The beer can chicken and anything off the smoker. What's crazy too, and let me know if I'm wrong here, but tastes, speaking of 10x times better when you're breaking a fast as opposed to if you just had a China buffet 4 hours earlier for lunch.
Yeah, exactly. You look forward to it. The grocery budget is actually better too, because my wife and I, she started a little bit. She does mostly 24s. She's done a couple 48s, and she just doesn't feel like it's her thing, which is cool. It's fine. But we spend a little more, right? We'll do more steak. We'll do more, nicer meals because I'm not eating for 2 days, and so we spend a little bit more and make it a nice meal and kind of go all out. You look forward to it, and you're right, man, it tastes pretty good.
So someone's gonna go out there, they're gonna conquer their first 48-hour fast, or maybe they're motivated, they're gonna knock out a 72. What advice would you give them during their fast?
A couple things. So first of all, stay busy. If you're just sitting around, it's torture, because all you're gonna do is just think about
boredom eating.
Yeah.
You're going to want to graze and just do something.
You think I'm not eating. Your thought is I'm not eating, instead of just being like, just live your life, So I try to stay active. Like I go to the gym on especially the days that you're fasting. I know that you're a big proponent of that. Human growth hormone is off the charts. You put on a ton more muscle, get the benefits. And then if you can time it right too, that which is not necessarily as important, but if you can time it right and come off that fast and then hit some protein after a good workout after 48, it's freaking money. But during the fast, stay busy, stay active, pack your schedule so that you're not just sitting around, and then drink a ton of water. I went from doing a gallon a day to doing at least a gallon and a half. I still keep that up. I just feel better. You pee like like crazy. You know, I'm going to the bathroom constantly, but
Get your steps in too.
yeah, there you go. But
Roll that
I
piss
feel
out.
better. I mean, you know, if you have to throw in like a soda once in a while, get some caffeine. I do that. I hit the pre-workout every day, you know, try to make sure it's good pre-workout. But yeah, man, I mean, keep your energy high, keep busy, keep drinking water, and keep your mind off it.
Can anyone do this? That's my last question because I know people are asking you how you got jacked and shredded and lost the weight and kept it off. And it seems like most people say, "Oh, I could never do that. I could never do that." Limiting beliefs and whatnot. Do you think this is something that anybody could do if they really put their mind to it?
I think the overwhelming majority, maybe not everybody, I don't know. Everybody, maybe there's a few instances out there where it's actually a bad thing for them. Could be.
If you're like hyperglycemic or you're type 1 diabetic, I'd
Yeah,
probably say ease your way into it and work with a
right.
medical professional. But
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't want to be stupid. If you know that, you know who you are, if you're in that category or if you fit those circumstances. But overwhelming majority, man, it's a mindset thing. And I've talked to people about it, even my family, and they're like, you're absolutely crazy. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I just turned 40 this last summer. Um, I've never been healthier. Now that I've learned this skill, it's something that I can always use, right? Like for the rest of my life, I can use it, barring no like serious health conditions that come. And I think this would be a big proponent to prevent a lot of that, right? So yeah, man, it's just changed the way I think about things. Like there were some comments I remember on one of the posts, and I don't mean to throw anybody under the bus, but there was one guy that was like, you know, my body's shutting down, like I'm in trouble. And I'm like, probably not. You know, it's a shock for sure to your system when you're used to eating every 3-4 hours. Yeah, I mean everybody's going to be shocked, but everybody can do it, and it's just about making it happen.
yeah, it's funny because most people who want to hit a goal or be successful at something, they think, what else can I add? What more can I do? When sometimes the real answer is, what can I take away? What can I do less of? And in this
Yeah,
instance, it's dude, I could ask my 3-year-old. I could be like, hey, dad's getting a little fat. Should I eat every 2 hours or should I eat one time a day? And she'd be like, duh, dad, obviously.
right. Well, that's so backwards for years, right? Like I've been on this. Everybody's tried to figure out how to get more fit, how to feel better, how to look better. I mean, for years, and every quote unquote professional in the space is like, got to eat 6 times a day, 6 small meals a day, you know? And it was like, and there's even like, I mean, there's an entire like industry blew up with like containers and meal sizes and meal planning, which if you're doing that and eating clean, I think there's something to be said about that, because that takes a significant amount of dedication and time and all that. And you know, more power to you if you can keep the fat off and stay disciplined to what you're eating. Cool.
Forever.
Yeah, but right, that's the point, is like, how long are you going to stay motivated to do that? Like there's got to be a point where, and everybody hits it, right, where they're like, man, this is a drag. I remember spending, like, we'd get done with dinner and I'd be like packing up my perfect little portion sizes at night, and then like, okay, what am I going to do the next day and the next day and the next meal? And I was so worried about, like, I would schedule my day and work around my meals. That's crazy, right? It's serious. It's like a part-time job, and everything suffers. Like you spend less time with your family, you spend less time at work, you spend less time at the gym or whatever, and you're always constantly worried about, okay, I got to get these 6 tiny meals in every day. It's insane, bro. It's like, it's just so backwards. And so you can say, okay, throw all that out. I'm going to eat once, or once a day or once every 2 days. I have more energy. I feel better. I don't get sick. Like I'm not eating all this junk that's going to put toxins in my body, and I'm drinking a bunch of water. And be intentional about those things, right? Take less time away from your day and your life. It's a home run, man. It's like, it's been good, and it just makes sense.
So if someone says I need to lose weight fast and I ideally like to keep it off, you'd say do some fasting.
Yeah, man. Hit the 48s for 6 weeks and watch it happen.
Yeah, buddy. Matt, I appreciate you, brother. You're a legend, and I appreciate you coming on here and giving the knowledge to the people.
No, right back at you, man. I appreciate it.